So this issue has been coming up quite a bit for me lately with bad coax. Brand new, out of the box. I've actually got this. I'm going to show you what I mean. This is brand new. I've already tested it. I wound it up, put it back in the box. Because it's going back to the store. I've already talked to the store owner, and he said he would take it back, no problem. But this has happened to me. I've set up 3 radios recently, and all 3 of those setups I have ran into bad coax. Brand new, right out of the package, bad coax. It's not kinked, it's just defective from the factory. And I never would have known that if I hadn't gotten one of these in order to test it. I want to show you what you're looking for when you use one of these. So you'll need some adapters to get to the correct size for your CB coax. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail in this. If you want to learn how to use one of these, you'll have to watch a different video. Maybe I'll do some more videos on it. But I'm on some CB groups on Facebook, and it seems to be a very common problem that comes up a lot. If you don't have something like this, when you connect these, you connect each end of the coax to this. I don't think an antenna analyzer has to have both ends connected. I think it can just read, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't use one of those, I use one of these. This, if you look right up here, you can see the SWR is about a 1.4. For just a piece of coax, that's not good. Really what you're looking for, it's not the SWR. Go shut this off and then go back in here and change this to resistance, and now we can see right here this is 35.9 ohms. This is no good. This has to be 50 ohms or very close to it. It can be a few ohms off. If it's 52, 53, or you know, maybe a couple ohms low, something like that, that's fine. That's no big deal. Being that far off, that's going to cause problems. You can already see, I already showed this, but I'll show it again. When I go to SWR, this piece of coax without the antenna or anything is a 1.4 SWR. You could use it probably, and it would kind of work, but it's not going to work well. One thing I ran into, the reason I want to share this, is to show kind of how important, and I've just found this out kind of recently. These are very important when you're doing a radio setup, because you just don't know otherwise. One of the setups I did was giving me an SWR of about 1.4, the whole thing, once the antenna and everything was in line. That's not bad. If that was in a mobile, I'd probably say screw it, run it, good enough. But fortunately, I did have one of these little things, Nano VNA, that's what it's called. I'll probably put it in the title of the video or something. But a Nano VNA is what that thing is called, or you can use an analyzer or whatever, but you need more than just an SWR meter when you're setting this stuff up, because like I said, on that one setup it was on a base, and 1.4 I wasn't happy with, so I took the time to go through it, and I eventually found out that the coax that I had bought, it was brand new, it was bad, it was no good. It was 75 ohm impedance, which would eventually damage the equipment. Yes, if you're going to do more than 1 or 2 CB setups, I suggest buying one of these things, because it will save you a ton of headache, because you can see exactly what's going on. Had I not had one of those, I would have been trying to get my SWR down from about a 1.4, and I would have just been lost. I probably would have never figured out what the issue was. And I've had so many issues setting up CB radios in the past, and just occasionally I'd get it right, and occasionally it would just not work out. I just could not get it quite right, and I'd run it, and it just, you know, it just wouldn't perform the way that it should have been performing. Well, now I'm starting to really think that it was because I didn't have something like this to tell me what was going on. So if you're gonna kind of be into this, if a radio is going to be something you have around and use, invest in one of these. These are about 50-60 bucks right now. This is June of 25, so I feel like that's a fair price. Definitely saved me a lot of headache already. And I don't set up radios anymore without testing coax. I don't care if it's new. Straight out of the box, I hook it to that thing. Just like in this case right here. This is going back to the store owner. He was shocked that it was bad, but yeah, pre-made from I mean, it's brand name, maybe not a good brand name, but it is a brand name piece of coax and looks nice. No kinks, no nicks. Connectors are nice. Yeah, junk. It's no good. Got to go back to the store, get another piece. I'm going to start taking this with me when I go buy coax. I don't order it offline anymore because it's such a pain to get it. It's bad, and it's very common. I mean, I'm looking at about 50% of the time so far the coax has been bad when I bought it. Now when I buy it from the electronic supply store here in town, I do have better luck, but that's where this came from. So you know, it's not a guarantee just because it's a piece of new coax, a brand name, coming from a good company, whatever, or a good store rather. It doesn't matter. You still have to check this stuff. The quality control is just not good, and it might be a recent thing, but like I said, I'm starting to suspect that this is a problem that I've been having for quite a while, and without a way to test it, I just didn't know. So I think I've talked long enough. I will try to edit this so it's not just me rambling. I'm not made very many videos like this, so might be kind of bad, so I apologize for that, but I wanted to share this information because I've kind of recently found out how common bad coax is and how useful something like a nano VNA or an antenna analyzer is to have. It's my opinion now that you just should have one. If you're going to set up more than one radio in your life, just buy one. Or unless you got a buddy that you can borrow one, you know, pretty readily or whatever. But yeah, all setups should be checked with something like this, and maybe I'll do some videos showing a little bit more how to use it and how I use it. But like I showed, you'll have to calibrate it. It comes with instructions. You can watch other videos and all that stuff. Hook both ends to it. Check your impedance. If your impedance or your SWR, because the SWR is a measurement that factors in the impedance. Yeah, you don't have to be overly technical. You don't have, these are complicated, but you can set them up so that they're simple to use. Just want to add this part right here so everybody can see. I went and exchanged this, and you can see the SWR on the new coax jumper is about a 1.0, and we can switch it real quick to resistance, and we can see that this is about 48.5, which isn't completely perfect, but it is close enough that it won't be a problem. And I wanted to add that this coax, if it's coiled, just kind of the way it lays, it will affect the impedance slightly, but it should only change it by a couple of ohms. It's not going to change it drastically, but it will change it some if you coil this and make what's called like an air choke. That can sound like a bad thing, but an air choke can actually be kind of useful. Not going to go into that, but I just wanted to show what good coax readings look like. And as long as it's within a few ohms of 50, should be good to go. You can see the SWR was down where it should be. So I just wanted to add that little part there. So that's what I did. That's what I do now, and it's saving me a ton of headache. I'm sure you've been there. I think most people that set a radio up runs into a little bit of a snag here and there. The exception would be maybe if you just buy a brand new radio and a new magnet mount and pop it on the roof. You might be able to get away with that pretty good. But if you're putting a setup in where you're actually going to be using mounts and ground planes and things like that, yeah, definitely spend a little bit of money and get the Nano VNA. It's worth it if you can possibly afford it. But I'm going to end it there, and I'm going to edit the crap out of this, and yeah, hopefully it's not too bad.